So this gentleman here is telling me to tell my 8-month-old to stop screaming because he has sensitive ears. I know it's loud, but he's an adult. He can leave, and he chooses not to leave. He's choosing me to tell me to take my baby out because he has sensitive ears.
You need to learn to be respectful.
She's a child, sir. It's not me. I didn't do anything.
You're causing this whole restaurant to have to hear our discussion. They don't want to eat that. They want to eat their food.
You came to me about my child, did you not? You're speaking for other people that haven't spoken, and the only reason I'm furious about it is because you came to address me about an 8-month-old.
You're forcing everyone in their
I'm not forcing any. I didn't tell the baby to talk. I'm happy that she has a voice, and I'm happy she can speak because there's children out here that can't even speak. That's nonverbal. So I am grateful for my child to be able to have a voice, and that's not up to you as an adult to chastise me or to whoop me because my child is speaking. You can't remove yourself from this restaurant. No, you're disrespectful, you're entitled, and you're being privileged right now because there was nothing in this world that made you feel like you can come say that to me about my child, and then you're upset that I'm reacting. I'm reacting to your response. There are nonverbal children out here, and you want to sit here and act like I'm supposed to suppress my child's voice?
I'm not responsible for the way that men have probably mistreated you in the past.
Me? And I'm a happily married woman. What are you talking about, baby? I'm 10 years next week. Clap it up for me. That's what you can do. So no one has mistreated me. You've been disrespectful. I didn't accuse you. Have I ever said racist? Did I say racist in here?
I was talking down to you because of privilege.
No, I said you're being, privilege does not equal racism. Let me educate you for a second, sir. Privilege, hold on, no. Let me educate this man. No, let me educate him because he just said I call him racist. I never did it. I said privilege because you're being an adult and you're expecting me to remove my child when I patronize this restaurant just like you. That is privilege. You're expecting me to put yourself over everybody else in this restaurant. It's not a thank you, but you realize how disrespectful it is, right?
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm so livid.
Yeah, I'm so sorry because I totally understand. Like having kids, it can be hard, and like sometimes it's hard to like get them to listen to you when they're not even able
It's not
to
even
like.
that I can tell them she's 8 months.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying like I'm sorry for like having the confrontation and stuff like that. I'm not saying anything is your fault. I totally understand. Yes, ma'am. I get it. So I'm just trying to calm the.
We're already leaving, so it's not a thing.
Yeah. So that's why I'm not even making a big deal.
But I'm mortified. I'm not gonna lie to you, because as a parent,
like, yeah, I understand. Like I have.
that's telling me I gotta go in my house and never come out with my children, all because he's an adult. He can actually leave. If he felt it was uncomfortable for him, he didn't have to come and speak to me. He could have left. And then he's speaking for other people in the restaurant, making it an uncomfortable experience.
Yeah.
That would help.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yes, ma'am.
And I come here a lot.
Yeah, I know. I see you all coming here a lot too.
Thank you.
I'm thankful, and every time you come here with your kids, I never
And
have
I've
a
seen
problem.
other people with kids, and they yell, and we felt bad. But when we seen the other family coming with kids, we realized this was a family establishment,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's why we
And I never say anything
and that's why
about
we
it.
come back.
And I never say anything about
And you
it.
don't.
Exactly.
And thank you for that.
Yep. So I totally understand, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience and the situation that you're in. I'll to go this for you. Yes, ma'am.
Well, guys, it's 2025. I'm no longer shocked with whatever is happening in the world of today. I have heard a lot, I have seen a lot. So, by seeing a grown up man trying to silence a woman because her baby is screaming at the restaurant, it is quite diabolical. Yes, I know in the world of today, there are some people who chose to be child free, others chose to have kids, and there is also another group of people who are trying to have kids but they can't because of some of the conditions. So, first of all, that restaurant is a public space. So if that man felt like he was being disturbed by the baby's noise or screams, he could have chose or booked a private restaurant. And secondly, that baby was just a baby, an 8-month old who doesn't know how to express herself. A baby was just discovered that she has a talent. She can scream to the top of her voice. And you know babies so well. If they discover that they have a certain hidden talent in them, they will do it. If it is destroying something in the house, they will do it. If it is walking, moving their legs in the house, they will do it. So this baby discovered that she can do it, and she was so happy. You know, there are some of the parents who just wish that their babies could do that, could even utter a word mama, but they can't do it. So that is the happiness of a woman seeing her kid trying to yell, trying to scream, or being happy, and that man was trying to be against that woman and trying to silence her. So, guys, I want us to watch the reactions of the people from this. And I'm so glad I came across some of the stitches of some palm colored people standing in solidarity with that woman because they know exactly what motherhood is. So, let us roll the clips. Let me know what you think about it, and welcome back to Afrojudy's channel. Kindly give the video a thumbs up and let's dive in.
You can't remove yourself from this restaurant. No, you're disrespectful, you're entitled, and you're being...
If you're still in the phase of wondering who's going to save you, who you can rely on to support you as things start to crumble, I feel like this video completely depicts exactly what you can expect. Please go back and watch this video. This sister is sitting down at a restaurant for brunch, I believe, or breakfast with her children. And this alabaster master is upset that her 8-month-old is doing what any sane individual would expect an 8-month-old to do. Coo. Wah, goo goo, gaga. Not even crying. Just like, da, 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 da. That's what babies do. But the alabaster master expects the 8-month-old to behave like an adult with a fully developed brain and use English words at a volume that is acceptable to his eardrums. Instead of removing himself, he thought to attack her. He thought to use all of his YT-ness and call the manager to have this lady and her family, her 3 kids, I think she's 2, like maybe 8, 7-year-olds, and the baby, to have them escorted out of the restaurant. Either shut that baby up or get ghost. So if you're wondering if those from the Caucasus Mountains are the ones that you can build community with and will be there for you, this man can't even tolerate a baby talking. A baby doing what a baby is supposed to do. And you think that one, and I assure you, something inside me tells me that guy's a leftist. And then look at the sister beside him. I don't know. Something tells me she's biracial. I could be wrong. She could just be light skinned. But I can guarantee you she chases proximity to this. Because the expressions that she was making as that sister was calling him out for infringing on her time, demanding something so unreasonable, the faces she made were disgusting. She was just like, can't trust her. Can't trust them. Like, I feel like this is like a very accurate depiction. And then there was a sister over there to the right who was more of my hue and darker, who was silent. Yeah, she's that type who just thinks that if she can get a seat at the table, she'll have made it. And she won't leave the door open for anybody else. So, it's already too late. If you don't have your community, yikes. But if you do, let's, just keep talking about what do we do in uncomfortable situations? What is the language? What is the script? What are the phone numbers that we need to memorize? What foods do we have? What can we prepare? Who's working on mental health? How do we maintain our mental health while things are collapsing one by one, right? Because some of y'all are still waiting for like this big like bomb or like big physical movement. It's coming, but like, know who your community is.
So this gentleman here is telling me to tell my 8-month-old to stop screaming.
Having been a mom of a child who almost died at childbirth, and several times later because she was septic due to her own system poisoning her, and seeing this child, and my child was that way, happy, and she's just screaming because she's happy. She's learned that she can make sounds, and my baby was like turning over after 2 days, and according to all the books I read, she could only do that after 2 weeks. No, you're not going to silence my child. No. And I've seen other people's responses. Just leave the restaurant. Oh, no, ma'am. I helped raise my brother's 2 kids, and I even worked in a restaurant where my brother's son I had to be put in a high chair in the back, and he would start screaming because my brother was too ignorant to bring me diapers and stuff like that. So I had to use my tip money to go buy diapers, go buy new clothes, go buy whatever he needed, change him, give him a bottle, and put him right back to sleep. So you know what? If you can't deal with children being in a restaurant, then maybe you shouldn't be there. You need to have respect, because some people are actually exposing their children to places at young ages, and they're learning from that point on. You can't scream at an 8-month-old who can't speak yet. You can just be excited. Oh, baby, I'm so happy you're trying to talk. And I've been in restaurants where my children have been in there, and I've heard adults cussing like sailors, and then I have to walk over to that table, and then there's elderly people also in that restaurant, and a multitude of kids on a soccer team, Olive Garden to be exact, in Florida. And this one guy is so loud, and every other word is the F word or GD. And I have to say, I finally stood up. I couldn't even eat my food. I was so angry. I said, if you don't mind, can you close that mouth of yours, or at least change your language? Because there are a multitude of children in here, elderly people sitting on either side of you, and my daughter's sitting there. I said, we don't speak that way in my house, and we don't speak that way in public. So what you're doing is offensive. And to me, what that guy did was offensive. If you're going to live Christ-like, then please don't do things where if your ears are too sensitive, pick a different restaurant. I'm sorry. Because if it's a family-oriented thing, then let go and let God handle it. You step out. It's a woman taking her children out for breakfast, coffee, or whatever it was. Let her have her moment. Stress-free. You can go anywhere. She gets maybe 1 day a week. How many days a week do you get with your girlfriend? Same way with this guy who was attending FSU down there. He was from up north. But that's all he did was curse. And I'm sitting there trying to eat my meal. And the elderly people are frowning. They were like, they couldn't enjoy their food. A table full of soccer team girls sitting there looking at him. And I finally had enough. And my friend was like, I can't believe he's speaking like that in front of all of these people. I'm like, girl, I can't even eat. She said, what are you going to do? And I started shaking. And when I start shaking, that means I'm angry. Angry to the point, and tears started falling out of my eyes. I said, I got to end this now. So, yes, I get this mother's feeling. It should have been her, standing up for her child, which she did, and, for the right reasons. If that guy had been cussing at her, I would have went over there, and he's making demands. But it's a child. I made a demand because there were elderly people in the front of him, the back of him, elderly couples. And then here I am right across the table, and then there's 30 kids sitting right there, and all you could hear was F this, and blah, 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 GD that. So yeah, I get her feelings. I do. And at the end of the flipping day, I said, enough of your mouth. I've had enough. If you want to take it outside, you and I can. But at the end of the day, this is your girlfriend or your college mate or whatever. But you're going to stop that. You show some respect here in the South, because we're not going to tolerate it. I said, otherwise I'm going to snatch you up and we're going outside. He said, I am so sorry, ma'am. I didn't realize everybody could hear me. I said, you're the loudest one here. Ooh. So this guy really, I'm sorry and truly, got on my nerves just watching the whole video. I figured eventually it would come on my For You page. And I'm grateful it did, because I wanted to say something on it. I'm glad she left the stitch open. because she is totally right. She should have never left. And if it had been me and my kids, we would have stayed there. Which, luckily, my kids, they would go, ah, ah, and be so happy. Because I would feed them, broccoli, and I would put chocolate pudding on it. They would be like, but they love to eat, so it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, what does matter is children need to learn to be in a social environment. He's already been in social environments, and I can only imagine what he was like as a child. I have a sensitive hearing too, but that comes with nails on a chalkboard or something like that. Heavy equipment being too loud, not a baby. Because those need to be nourished with love, character, class, and culture. And the only way you're going to get that is being out in public and respecting your moms. So, I applaud this mom 100%. Love you guys, and praise God she stood up for her baby.
This is what's sad about our world today. It really is. Nobody has any thoughts or consideration for those around them. Just for themselves in their own little bubble, and everybody else just better deal with it. I've raised 7 kids myself. Well, not myself, my husband and I. And we're foster parents. We've been through many baby and toddler stages, and that shrill screams and everything. It's hard to tell an 8-month-old to be quiet or make them understand having consideration for those around them. So, we just didn't go when our babies were in those stages. When they were old enough to understand, having an inside level so that other people, you don't disturb them, then we would take them out places. This one that you can hear in the video right now, that's our foster son, who's nonverbal, profoundly autistic. He does this a lot. This is his thing. It's his stims. He doesn't sit quietly for hardly any length of time. So we don't take him to restaurants where other people are trying to eat their meals in peace. Now, don't get me wrong. This little man is not hidden away from the world. He goes almost everywhere with us. But not to quiet places that it might disturb other people. Because his stimming, verbal and physical, is an our issue to deal with and learn to block out. It's not the rest of the world's issue to have to deal with. Nobody has basic consideration for those around them anymore. It's all about me, 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 me. And it's sad.
Well, that man thought that it was right to silence or perhaps intimidate that woman because her baby was screaming at the restaurant. First of all, we are living in a free world and that restaurant is a public space. So if that man was feeling uncomfortable because an 8-month-old baby was screaming at the restaurant, he could have booked a private place, a private restaurant to go with his girlfriend or perhaps workmate. I don't know the relationship they have, instead of trying to silence that woman. And I love the reaction from the people at the restaurant, especially there was a black woman sitting there just minding her own business, eating her food. There is also another palm colored man who was sitting there minding his own business, busy taking his food. And then came this man. And I think if that was his girlfriend, she felt so embarrassed of whatever the boy was doing. Imagine an 8-month-old baby who doesn't know whatever she's doing. And secondly, that was just a baby. She's just a baby. And you know babies so well, especially when they discover a talent in them, they will be doing it wholeheartedly. If they discover that they can scream loudly, they will be screaming loudly. If they discover that they can move their leg, they will be walking around the house. If they discover that they can destroy something in the house, they are thinking that maybe it's a joke, but according to them, it is so interesting and they will be doing it each and every time until they learn that whatever they are doing is not good. So I don't know why that man was getting mad because the baby was just screaming at the restaurant. Like the baby was literally happy. There are some people outside here who want their baby to utter even a word, to say even mom, to say even dad, but they are not able to do that. And seeing a baby 8 month old doing all that, that is mom's happiness. And that is why that woman stood on business and told that man that if you are not comfortable with whatever my baby is doing, you rather get out. And I'm also glad how the restaurant, those who are working at the restaurant, handled that issue so well. Because if it could have been other people, they could have chased that woman out of the restaurant. Some people are so heartless, especially if they see babies like that doing that kind of thing. And again, there are some people who want to be childless. Yes, we understand that. But being childless doesn't mean that if you go to a public space, you are also against people's children. That is not allowed. By you being childless has no business in people's children. You just stay childless and let those who want to have kids enjoy time with their kids. Plus the kids, they need a social space. They need to see things around. They need to interact with people than closing them just inside the house doing nothing with them there. Get your kids out, let them enjoy the cool environment, let them see people, let them make friends. As early as that age, the kid can learn a lot. And that woman was so happy taking her kids to the restaurant, and I heard her telling that man working at the restaurant that she has been going to that restaurant quite often, and it was not even the first time her going there. And again, I've seen several cases of people when they go to the restaurant and you have a kid and the kid starts screaming, like they kind of stare. They will be staring at the kid, not in a good way, but in a bad way, because it tells you that they don't want to see that kid screaming. And remember, the kid is just a baby who doesn't even know how to talk, who doesn't even know how to express herself or himself. They're just trying, and it is the part of growth, of which at one particular point that man was also in that stage. And maybe he was the most stubborn kid in their house, and now he doesn't want to see somebody's child screaming at the restaurant. So if he did this at this particular restaurant, what do you think this man has been doing? To mean he doesn't like kids. He doesn't like seeing small kids happy, seeing small kids playing around or maybe in good places, because it tells you all. And he felt so embarrassed together with the girl he was with, because after the man who was working at the restaurant went and told them that it's not okay, from the look on their faces, you could tell that these people are feeling so embarrassed. And that girl, I think she's biracial or rather black, she was just sitting there watching whatever the boy is doing instead of silencing or criticizing the man. Ladies, let us just be clear. In case you are dating a white man or married to a white man and you see him, or you see, or if you're a black man married or dating a white woman, if you see him or her criticizing a black woman or a black man or any other people of color, you must always stand in business, because you can't just allow that to happen. And if you allow that to happen, that means that there is a way you are worshiping those people. You can't let your own be criticized on your watch. You're just sitting there praising your man or praising your woman because you want to be seen as a good person in front of them. Personally, I can't allow that. Whether you are a black man I'm dating or whether you are a white man I'm dating, then I see you criticizing a black woman or a brown woman or even a white woman, I will not allow that, because you can't pretend to be disliking someone, then at the same time you pretend to be liking me. That is not how it happens. So guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you think it was a good idea for this man to try silencing that woman because her baby was screaming at the restaurant? Let me know in the comment section below. And which message do you have to that man? Because I think that man chose to be child free the way he was treating that baby. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I honestly appreciate your massive love and support. Let's keep the conversation going, and also we learn from each other in the comment section. Until next time, remember to take good care of yourselves.